to deliver your experience and all. We are really very happy. Equally, I welcome all VRA people, all people those who are from the industry, those who are from the profession. I hand over this mic to the secretary. She will conduct further the program. Thank you. Welcome, sir. Manoj, sir. Most welcome and remain with us forever the way we are. Andare sir is also there, our chairman, past chairman, who has been, various milestones, everything. Thank you.
Sorry, sorry, food.
Acha, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anandji. Now I would like to introduce Mr. Manoj Rajimwale, Principal Consultant HR. He has vast corporate experience for over 35 years. He has headed HR for some major brands like Reliance Energy, Blast, Mumbai Airport, and Endurance Technologies. He is also known for providing best HR solutions for critical business issues. He is recognized with various professional awards and publications. He is actively associated with NIPM, NHRD, SHRM, and various industrial organizations. So without taking much time, I invite today's guest speaker, Mr. Manu Sarji.
Good evening to everyone.
Good evening.
And first, let me express my gratitude to the dignitaries of the dais, who really gave me this opportunity to speak at this moment. I mean, it's a great honor for me. And I would first thank to all the members and my fraternity professionals who are here and sparing their really valuable time. When you are in industry, how the time goes, I could understand. And getting out of the office of your daily routine and even coming for 2 hours, and that too at the weekend, it really needs a lot of sacrifices. So I really thanks for that, for being here all the times for this program. And before we start, I would be really, really happy for one reason. Before this, let me just express thanks, Anand, for kind words. And Anand is all the time a kind of person who will try to, always speak much more than what I am. But I take it gracefully. And I started my career from Nagpur. And I have been all the time at different locations, but I told all my friends and most of my colleagues know that I said, finally, I'll be back to Nagpur. And that's how I'm here for last 1 month. I have just landed back, slowly settling down. So there will always be a pleasure in meeting and extending whatever kind of support in terms of HR, IR, admin, whatever this CSR and kind of. So thanks for that. Coming to today's topic of envisaging HR. Now, this particular topic is very hot. Everywhere everybody's talking, envisioning HR, envisaging HR, going for, what would be the HR for tomorrow? How the industry would shape up and how industry is going to really industry is looking forward to HR with a lot of expectations. But is HR standing there today? Or if HR wants to get in that line and HR wants to really fulfill the expectations from industry, what is that HR is expected to do? And most important is when you have expectations, there is always a responsibility comes from the other side. Because I'm expecting something from you as my colleague or as my junior, I also have a responsibility of extending support for my colleague to conduct the performance that I'm expecting. So it is both way. It's not only what you are expecting from HR, what kind of support HR people are you are providing to HR. So I tell you two, three things. Now today, if you see anywhere, if you go any website or if you see any here, people all talk about the CEO's topmost agenda of the day is people. Everybody is looking for people and they are talking everything talent, talent, talent. Oh, it's a great talent war going on. And they see in their agenda is talent is top notch. When it comes to CEO giving importance in terms of time, in terms of support, in terms of his being, there with for any kind of initiatives. In the course of that list, the finance, manufacturing, sustainability and quality, then your engineering and design, the HR comes 8th or 9th places. That's a fact. And that's not limited to India. It's international. So the dichotomy which you could see here is you have expectations very high, but when it comes to the matter of support, you have so many other things before it. And you are expecting HR to become, all that everything that HR should be able to do today. So that's what I said, expectation is fine. That is one way. But at the same time, support from industry is also equally important, rather all the more that is important. Because when we go for any kind of audit of performance management, what we see, we always talk of two important things. When a person, the appraiser, when appraiser starts to start interview, what ideally one need to know? What he has done well and what he has not done well. If he has done very well in some area, why he has done well? If he has not done very well, why he has not done well? So in typical HR terms, we call it conducive factor and inhibiting factor. So suppose his market is great and my target was 350 crores and I have done 450. Market was good, my price point was good. There are some products where I have a premium over my competition. I am doing well, all kinds of support is there, everybody's clap. Now suppose the same guy, instead of 350, he does 270. And there is a lull in the market. There are lots of areas where you are not able to reach. The kind of support that you need from marketing and design for the new product which you have launched is not there. And now you are expecting the person to fulfill it. So my point is that why I'm citing this example is this kind of support is all the more important for the person who is expecting a performance from an individual. So the same thing is HR in that boat today, where there are people who are talking a lot, but there are a lot needs to be done from management side. We all know I'm not going to mention all the issues that we all are feeling day by day. I'm here for last 1 month, so going to a few industries and meeting industries and people over there and could understand the problems. The problems are typical, the same what I could see. There are lots of problems which I have been seeing here when I was working in Nagpur some 20 years back, 20, 25 years back. So there are issues, and those issues, and it is not that these issues are pinpointed by HR person. They try to, every HR person will come and try to bring it to the notice of the management, but where the management stands. Now management has their own side of issues. I'm not saying it's not there, but somebody has to sit and make that balance between the two as to how to make the experience function. Okay, so first thing today everybody is talking of, and today's topic is all that everybody is looking at HR as a business partner. HR is only a business partner. There is no finance business partner. There is no design business partner. There is no technology business partner. But there is an HR business partner. Why is that? Because over the years, in last, say 20 years, after the dot-com event and everything is over, I'm talking of from after this Lehman Brothers thing is over, which is around 2008, 2009. Post that, the way things have started getting prominence in the internationally across is major in service, IT, then this service banks, and there are a lot of technology enabled a product line which is getting EV is one of them, and all these kind of industries are looking for people. And people, when they look at, they know that it is only people which is going to, which is important commodity today because there is a scarcity everywhere. See, the good part is there is an employment and there is a scarcity. So there is always a dearth of good people in the industry, but at the same time, there are unemployment. And when it comes to this, I would say that there are a lot to be done by the political system, educational institutions, and the kind of alignment that need to happen between industry and academia is seen in a very dim light even today. So that may be the reason why we will see that though there are scarcity, there is still unemployment. Now, what is happening today is HR, we all have seen that we have evaluated from a typical labor inspector to an administrative expert to a people champion or employee advocate or employee champion to now to a business partner. Now, what has happened is over the years, the role kept on changing. And today, this is something which is HR himself has not taken. ये माला HR business partner का किसी ने आपके गले में डाला हुआ है हमारे गले में. हम लोग ने तुमने नहीं पहना है. None of us has taken that to ourselves. Industry wants, management wants HR to be there, HR to be a business partner. Now there is a new concept. I was going through some research on McKinsey has come. They say HR should be today to be known as not CHRO but a growth manager. Growth manager means all growth, all developments in the industry. Finally, it finally lands to the HR. But when it comes to financial aspect, when it comes to budgets, when it comes to sanctioning the proposals, many times HR gets backseat. Right. So this is something which we will have to look at. Now, going forward, when we are looking for in today's context, what is that HR is really looking from for tomorrow? So the first thing is HR is basically need to look at what we have done over the years and what is that business is looking for. Is there any change in the business? So yes, there is a lot of change in the business. Technologically, digitally, and expectations have started increasing because of that. HR need to understand these changes which is coming to industry and gear up ourselves to cope up for that. Now, what is that we need to cope up? There are 4 or 5 important things which I am going to put it here. Is what is that HR need to do, because there is no point in talking too much on, I will not put more on theory or jargons, but I'll tell you few things which are very important. The first thing is what in industry is happening is every organization's first challenge, which is HR's first challenge, is HR need to power the growth agenda of the organization. HR is seen as a powerhouse, and we need to look at how that agenda is taken forward. When it comes to growth agenda, what is that you want? When your organization is today as 1,000 crores and you want to move in 3 years to 1,700 or 1,800 crores, what is that we are looking for? Today, everybody has technology. Everybody has all kinds of, required, updated digital devices or digital technologically software. Everything is available with everything, right? What is the competitive advantage left with the business? I mean, we know when we used to study or we were in the profession in the beginning, in the initial period, we used to call technology is very important. If you guys know in Nagpur, this in printing and technology, this in media, press media, was the only paper who used to publish colored page, if you recall. And all others used to go to Hitwat for getting half page colored at least once in a week. Right? That was the power of technology, right? There were people who used to have additional factories set up as an additional capability to face any kind of union related issues or some other issues. I should have an excess of capacity with me, which would take care of my target. I don't want to lose any of my budget in time. Right? Now, what happened is today that is the situation. Today it is not the situation. Today it's there with everyone. So, what is the competitive advantage left with the people? The organization is looking only for two things which would differentiate your organization with the other organization. And that is one is people and second is competence. So, because the person who is in particular industry, if the same person, the way he is managing the show, the way he is doing the kind of his own competence which cannot be copied. Okay, somebody has got a very good, like now, this electrical vehicle is a very big field which is there, and they are going like haywire. So you can, and they are very precious commodity in the market. I mean, people waiting for EV is worse than IT, and people ask anything. So what you have to do, you have to go and start getting the people from the market, right? Because they say that we need a person for our this particular technology. Suppose powertrain, I want the best guy for the powertrain. Okay. Or I want best guy for ADAS, advanced drivers technology, which is there. So what you are going to do, you will go and find in the market who are the best and you are trying to get. Now there are two kinds of candidates in the market. One is actively looking for a job. Another is passive candidate. You have to go and try to activate it, right? Second one is very difficult, and getting that person onto the board is very difficult. Okay, now when I'm going forward and I'm looking for, I may get a person on the board. Now, if you get a person, you selected a person and he is asking long, he's asking very high. Suppose if you are hiring a manager, if manager is range is say 20 lakhs and that guy is asking 30 lakhs, what you will do? Two things, problem. Your budget will be the major issue. And second thing is your internal equity will going to get break. So what you do? Now internal equity means if my all people at certain level, I will try to keep them in that particular band, right? So every grade has got a band. Now we don't have scale. We have a band. What is minimum and what is maximum? Then we have certain parameters we look at: experience, qualification, kind of degrees, or what are the exposure, his progress in the industry over the period and all that. Now what happens? If you see that my all guys on this thing are getting 20 and this guy is asking for 30 and he's the best guy, what people are looking for. And I want my powertrain department to go up very fast because we are going to launch this. Now this is what is the major issue today HR people are facing. Now we have very clear this thing. Anybody, whenever we are going for recruiting anyone, we go open our things, look that stack, what is the start and what is the end, where we can fix it. And according to this, we said, yeah, we can give at the most इसको हम लोग ना 22 के ऊपर नहीं दे सकते. 20 पे चलो, I will understand कि next year he will not be there for the appraisal, so others will get 10-12%. So I will manage that. But still that guy is not, he's not ready to look at it. So what to do? This is what is the change when we are talking of envisaging HR. HR will have to look at what is my structure, what are my sanctioned recruitment, this thing. I have to go back to that concerned person, department manager or whoever is in charge or CEO, discuss with him, can we postpone these 2-3 positions recruitment Can we do this? Can we get some position at a lower salary? Can I manage all this? And then while I have to take this guy, but I have to keep that within budget also. And you will always have a problem that when you will have a star performance, you have to break. So your salary bands, your all this thing will be broken. You have to get that guy because that is the need of the business. You have to convince your management. You have to convince to that department that we'll get this guy, but we will have to keep these 2-3 things away. We cannot go and take people. So next time, if I have to take a person at particular department, a manager, I will take at 40 lakhs. Or these 2 positions I will keep for some time, right? And then I will go for this. I'll get the person on the, because this person is a key for the organization. That is what is expected from HR to do. Unless you do that, because then you will be the person, because your job is powering the growth agenda. You as a HR, people are looking for boss aadmi chahiye. And when you know, when we have a meeting, people will not go into the depth and say ki boss, market is very high, our budgets are very low, we don't get. They say boss, people aadmi nahi mil rahe, sir, kya kare? Client is shouting at me and I am not able to send the sample components. And this is what is HR. I'm telling very in a very simple words without adding into any cliche, because this is very important for us to know. All these big companies, if you go today, this is what is the key agenda in this everywhere. People want. And let me tell you, you should always have one other important aspect. When we look for internal equity, when we say that my grade level, my band level, my grading, everything should be, there will always be, you should have a good employee segmentation. What is employee segmentation? Whether you know whether the organization is asking or not asking, you should know who are your star performers. Star performers are my top. They should not be more than 10%. And organization should be able to reap the benefit out of this star. The star बैठ के वहां रहेगा और आप अगर उसमें से, if you are not able to reap the benefit and if you are giving this 30 lakhs rupees CTC to a guy as against rest of the guys are in 20, and if you are not able to take the advantage out of it, then it doesn't work. So HR's job is that also, the return on talent employed. There is some concept. So you have to see that. And once these 2 things are there, HR need to understand that I have star performers. They are at this level. I have solid citizens who are my average kind of people. They are required. Let me tell you one thing, these solid citizens or average people, they are the backbone of the organization. They may not do so great, but they are with the organization. They know the historically, the systems, process, where from it started, why changes have happened, what needs to be done. They are very important. And then you have bottom feeders, whom you have to always look for. Either they improve or they should be put down. Okay. So this is something very important, the first thing which is required. The second important aspect of this envisaging HR comes is your culture. And everybody talks culture today. Who doesn't talk? Everybody talks culture. Everybody wants to bring new culture, best culture. People are talking of culture. What is this culture thing altogether? And everybody saw, yaar, hamara culture sudharna chahiye. Talent we are not getting. We don't have the culture. What is this culture thing? How many of you have heard there is a proverb nowadays, it's very well known. Culture eats strategy in the breakfast. How many of you have heard? Anybody has heard this? This is a very big case study which is there in industry by 2 organizations, Netflix and Zappos. Yeah. And when they say that strategy is definitely important, strategy is there. But what strategy does? Strategy makes the plan. Strategy gives you direction and focus, right? What needs to be done for the organization? Where am I going to be 3 years down the line? What is the market? How am I going to do? And then you draw your strategy, you draw your plan. You derive from there the first year's plan, which is your scorecard, organization scorecard, or your annual business plan. And then for the next 2 years, 3 years, whatever, there are companies who do 5 years plan also. And they keep on reviewing, not that it is once you have taken 5 years plan and the industry is going somewhere and your plan still remains, that it's not like that. It needs to be reviewed on regular basis. So strategy gives you direction and focus. What culture gives you is your passion and execution. So end of the day, when you see strategy across the world, they say many times strategy fails. And in lots of the organization, the percentage of strategy getting really successfully executed and the organization is getting benefit is only 15%, 1.5. And I'm talking this worldwide. And these are all well authenticated research and all. So why is this? The reason is our strategies are so bad. People are so learned people are sitting there. Are they not able to articulate the right kind of strategy for the organization? No, it's not that. All strategies are best. They are very good. But the problem comes where? Problem comes to execution. How you are going to implement your strategy on the ground. So there are a lot of areas where people are talking about shared vision. Strategy is done on a boardroom, percolated to the next level, and from there, at every level, how much you lose the essence of what was discussed in the boardroom, we all don't know. So the finally when it gets implemented, its implementation level is so low that it fails many times. So what is important is you need to have a culture which is high level of commitment, and there should be a good amount of transparency across. Whatever discussed in the boardroom gets down to the shop floor at the last level, the guy who is the first line of management, we call the supervisor on the shop floor. Or in today's term, in all other service businesses, the person who is a cluster manager. These are the people who need to be involved. And if they are not involved, number one is they need to be involved as a matter of culture in the organization. Number two, they need to really concentrate on this. They need to be only committed for the organization. They need to be more inquisitive as to why we are doing this, why not this way or why not that way. They should come and have a discussion with the organization and overall. Then the strategy will get the right path. There will be a lot of, modifications. There will be a lot of things, and it will be then properly slotted in the manner it is to be executed in the organization successfully. If that doesn't happen, strategy remains mere strategy, and you still keep on doing the same thing. That's why they said culture is strategy. If you don't have a right culture, strategy is not going to go. So this is where the HR's role is to see that I should have a right kind of culture. I need to discuss with management. I need to understand. And finally, what is culture? Culture is basically what are do's and don'ts in the organization. And they are to be cherished by the employees. That is the role of HR. अगर मेरे organization के अंदर, I'll tell you many times, people write very good culture statement and all that, Everybody talks transparency. Everybody talks respect for people. Everybody will talk punctuality. Everybody will talk open office culture. But when you go inside, even the next person, आपकी मीटिंग में क्या हुआ? नहीं वो बॉस बताएंगे. भाई तू किस लिए था? कि मुझे तो नहीं पता. This is the reality. And people need to understand this. You be truthful now. While you are writing open, you say confidentiality is our value system. It's okay. If you don't want to show to people, you say confidential. We are very top confidential oriented organization. Fine. Be true to yourself. Respect for people. What respect for people? Do you allow people to speak out? Do you allow people to come out with their views? But they will seek respect from you. What respect? The respect for people is not हाँ जी हाँ भैया आ जाइए बोलिए. Respect for people is I need to understand the person from his standpoint. What is he there in the organization for? He may be a casual employee. And I as an organization should have a respect for him as a casual employee who has his own roles and responsibilities in the organization. As the general manager.
It's basically empathy, which you must have for your employees.
Whatever you call, my point is this. You must walk the talk. If you are writing this as my agenda, then you should do this. I am telling you, in this particular matter, multinationals are great organizations. At least they will say if there are certain things which our headquarters will respond, you are not doing, it's not doing. Simple. I'm consulting to one German organization and I tell you, I'm just doing the leadership development for them. Now, these people were very, very clear. Sir, they are in some kind of business. They said, sir, very clear, our business this year we are planning, my CAGR is 25 to 30% year on year. But we have stopped cartelization. Cartelization में क्या होता है कि हमारे clients more or less same big clients. So I will say we are 5 companies who are into this business. So we'll talk to each other कि boss ठीक है आज आप 30% पे आप उठा लो अगला वाला ऑर्डर मैं उठाऊंगा उसके अगला वाला ऑर्डर वो उठाए. This happens in industry, particularly in what you call it high end of engineering industry, which is called capital goods industry. It happens. So they said that because this has come as a value charter in the organization, this has come as a value charter in the organization, the person who tried to do this with an objective to get better profitability for the organization has been sacked. And I'm talking of this when I'm saying that somebody is doing, that guy was a country head. I don't want to name the organization, the person. That is what I'm not good for sacking the guy. Point is that you must walk the talk. Otherwise, what people will believe, everything is going jargon. Half of the time in HR, this is what happens, people don't like, but when you read about HR from the perspective of other functions, have you read that? Go to Google and see that what other functions think about HR. We tom our own, we play our own trumpet, that's okay. But what others are talking, they said, I'm scared of going to HR. You open Google, you will just first sentence, you will see this. The reason being is we need to understand where are we standing, what are our roles, what organization is ready to enable me to discharge my role, what is expected out of me, and I should do there. And I should not get it there. That's why they say a good leadership is what? What is the credibility of a leader? The credibility of leader is he must speak what he can do and he does what he has spoken. That is the personal credibility of a leader, irrespective of industry, irrespective of business, irrespective of any sector you say. And this is where is the whole problem. We try to talk down. Why? Two colleagues, they will talk very high and then one person, but I know that guy in your organization. They will say, "Nahi sir, wo to main isliye bata raha tha." There's no point. You should be very plain and simple in our things. Half of the time, HR is people talk of lots and lots and lots, and everything bounces back to people say, I'll give you an example. When I was working with Reliance Energy, which is now Adani Energy, it's a very large organization, and they manage a complete power distribution business of Bombay suburbs, right? So, 8,500 employees and some 2,500 executives. Now, in this organization, when I went on, after joining of first week or second week, I was being taken to all the their zones. They have 5 zones. And there are few of my colleagues who are with me in Reliance. They're here. So they can definitely vouch what I'm saying. So then there are substations, there are depots, all kinds of things. So when I had 2 days induction in corporate HR, and I was business HR there, heading the complete this business. So they said that we have implemented role clarity and now there are very clear cut things and we have roles and all that. I said, very good, very good. Then I went to zones and I went to depots and I went to substations because these are all the hierarchies through which I said, भाई आप लोग का रोल क्लैरिटी हो गया कितने रोल्स है आपके यहाँ पर बोला सर क्या बोले आप मैंने कहा रोल क्लैरिटी एक्सरसाइज हुई आपके सर वो पता नहीं 2 मीटिंग हुई वो आए हुए थे कुछ बता रहे थे हम लोग किसी को समझा नहीं हम भी क्या बता सकते हैं and that is over people don't know what is unique role people don't know what is role clarity people don't know different aspects of this and HR is talking that we have implemented this. It is not for one organization. This happens with several organizations. We are so top oriented, not top down. The management principle says you should be top down. We are top oriented. So this is what is HR need to see that whatever I am talking, am I able to implement? And something very important, two things very important for envisaging HR is number one is HR must discharge what is expected by business. What business wants we to do? There are so many new concepts coming because HR is ever evolving field where we should not go for anything, something very nice to have. We should look for what business needs A. And number two is very important. And that is where HR need to do is HR must able to measure what you are bringing as a concept to the business. Measure that matters. If you measure, if you are able to measure, you will be able to produce what is your contribution going towards business. There are lots of, particularly into training and all, and I'm just citing because just 2 days back I was in that company. So people were asking ki now this training is over, when we are going to implement and working on effectiveness program, how we are going to work. So we said the first thing will address only intangibles and convert those intangibles into tangibles. If I want to improve the managerial skills of a particular person, meaning what is that? So they said, हाँ sir, वो तो करना है. I said, okay, you tell me what are the 5 things where you want him to improve, or what are the 5 things where you feel it is causing problem in him. You observe that it is causing problem in his role and that is affecting other people, being his colleagues or subordinates. Never thought. I said, you need to think that. If you want to measure, you have to have first this. See the first thing when you want improvement, and particularly, guys, please understand, people look at HR from this behavioral improvement, what HR can do. The first thing you ask question, boss, if you want behavioral improvement, you tell me what behavioral aspect which is affecting and how that is causing, how that is causing to the performance of his work at the organization. Somebody is not very active on the shop floor and that is affecting the efficiency of the shop floor. People will have to produce his colleagues, his boss, his other team members. They need to able to bring in something, then only you will be able to work. Suppose somebody says, boss, ये ना shop floor पे बैठते ही नहीं है बंदा. So what will happen? His productivity has to come down. The quality level, there should be some issue. This your wastage, your rectification goes up. is clarified. This is very important. Third thing very important in this is your leadership pipeline. So you have hiring, attracting talent, how you want to be in the organization, the talent should be taken care through culture. And now coming to developing talent. Now in developing talent, now people are, there used to be a time when people used to talk of succession of top notch. बड़े बड़े लोगों का सक्सेशन करना है, मेरे यहाँ CFO है, CEO है, I want my quality head, I should have some kind of succession under him. Today, organization is looking differently. Succession is not only at top, succession is throughout the pipeline. So you have to build a cadre-based organization. So if I have a person who is a manager in the shop, I need to have some succession there. There should be people who need to be identified, they need to be trained and developed. This is very important. Now, I'll tell you one more important thing in this is when you are developing people across levels, there has to be, organization has to have two things, patience, very important. One is you have to spend time, energy and money, everything. Some of these people may leave you. And there is always this question, छोड़ के गया तो हम इतना पैसा लगा रहे फिर क्या होगा? कुछ नहीं होगा भाई, नहीं लगाओगे तो क्या होगा? जो होना है वो भी नहीं होगा. So people have to understand, and you guys will have to understand and tell your management one thing. People are going to come and leave. Retaining people is our job. For that, culture has to be established in the organization. And everybody be truthful to that culture from top to bottom. Everybody will have to learn. How am I going to deal with my people as a top man, and how am I going to deal with my people as a supervisor? Both are important. So if these things are taken care, then you are, and because talent building pipeline is not a 6 months, 1 year's job. It needs 2 to 3 years to establish in the organization, and then organizations start reaping the benefit out of it. People want, अरे हमने 6 महीने हो गए लगाया यार, बहुत इस बार बजट हमने काफी लगाया ट्रेनिंग में सब किया, कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा. 6 months, people want, you are not going to get anything in 6 months time. The point is, whether are you really, do you have a passion for developing people and building your organization is something very important. And today, what little I am getting this thing indication from industry is people started believing this. If buying talent, building talent is more important than buying talent. And that only will happen when you have a sustainable, consistently give a one kind of treatment to the people across, which is what we call culture. There are certain things which you have to follow truthfully, not because somebody is saying kind. No. So this is something very important on talent pipeline. And then it comes to the next important thing which is there is strengthening championing operational efficiency. Now operational efficiency, people will say, boss, इससे HR का क्या लेना देना है? Operation वाला operational efficiency. But what is more important is when it comes to operational efficiency, what people are looking for. People are looking for a good cross-functional alignment. Whatever you are doing, there should be a top-down approach and there should be a cross-functional alignment. Interdependency is something is the key to this. And without interdependency, you cannot. The organization is not a individual man's play. You call it whoever, how great that guy may be. One will say कि मैं सब चला दूंगा. Even the sales guy, they are always considered to be, was you load whatever target you are, this guy will deliver. Good. Suppose if he gets order and if he doesn't get delivery on time, what will happen? 1, 2, 3, fourth time will start losing. So organization is teamwork. Organization life is where lots of people work together. And that is why that is the beauty of the organization, and every person, every individual has got a unique brain. And that is why there are people know what to do, people know when to take head on, people know where to take the back seat, and that's why we all are there. Okay, so two things very important. There should be a top down, very clear when it comes to target. If you have an annual business plan, if it is done at CEO level, it should come to the CXO's level. From there, it should percolate down. And there is a proper iteration process. We all know balance scorecard, everything is very well set. People need to follow that. And something very important is cross-functional alignment. I'll give you an example. Everybody makes their own scorecard. And if there is no alignment, what will happen? The person will lose and organization will lose. So there are a lot of places where we have started giving, when you talk about your KRA, KPI, target, everything, you also look at CFA, cross-functional alignment initiatives. I'll give you an example. Suppose my sales said this year in October, we are going to launch 2 products. Okay. So if I want to launch 2 products, I need to have a separate team, right? Now, suppose if I am an institutional sales company who is making B2B market, you know, B2B, business to business. So आप कोई companies को सालों साल दे रहे हो, you are 40% going to Bajaj, 30% going to HMSI, 30% going to REML, could be anything. Now, suppose I get into channel business, where I am going to the retail. Now, what happens? Because these products are for retail. Now, my point is, I want to do this in October. What should be the HR's alignment here? If he wants to launch the product in October, he needs to have the team in place at least 2 months before. And if he wants to this thing in 2 months before, the recruitment must happen by June, and people should start coming onto the board during the month of the June. By 1st of July, he should hand over those team to the sales. Sales will take its own time to make the orientation of these guys and make them ready for the market to take over. This is called alignment. Suppose if this doesn't happen, HR ने बोला यार मेरे को 10 बहुत काम है यार अभी वो नहीं करना. What will happen? Recruitment doesn't take place. उसको 20 आदमी दे रहे थे, you are giving 80 people. What will happen? He will have to cut the corners. He will say कि बॉस मैं वेस्टर्न में आदमी डाल देता हूँ, उधर कुछ तो सेल्स बन जाएगा. नॉर्थ में आदमी नहीं डालता हूँ, ईस्टर्न में तो डालने की जरूरत ही नहीं, आदमी नहीं. And what will happen? My target for the sales. Why I'm saying this is all coming to that organization, business, and HR. I'm trying to give that. And what happens finally? My target for this year from the CEO to make business of 250 crores out of the new product launch will come down to 80 crores or 70 crores, or even lesser than that. And then they'll say, sir, what can we do? Sir. And then there is an investigation, and then there are issues, and then there is the discussion. So my point is, this is the alignment, and that is why people are looking at calling HR as a growth manager, is because this alignment HR need to put in place. HR is not a technology master. HR is not a great IT guy who knows digitization, but HR need to know how things can work between people. And that is the expertise that HR has to gain. Okay. So when it comes into the, so 2 things very important in operations. What are 2 things? One is efficiency. Okay. Where we have to do more with the less. And second thing is what? Effectiveness. What is the effectiveness? Whatever efforts I am taking should go to the right direction and hit the bottom line improvement. Simple. There cannot be third thing in operational efficiency. And HR need to look at whether those alignments are happening properly or not. Whether those things are, suppose if there is a new paint booth is coming in the organization and you need to have people. If the people are there, are they working on that? Is things are working, productivity is improving or not improving, why it is not improving? There is no harm, and that is what a business is looking at HR to do that. And many times, we as HR, I'm not casting any aspersion on anyone. I'm just saying, generally यार मेरे पास बहुत काम है, appraisal पड़े यार 3 महीने से सब complete करना है. मैं कहाँ वो productivity production की meeting में. And that is what is required. Unless you start going to the inter-department meeting, unless if you are invited to a corrective action plan meeting or so many meetings which happens in the organization, HR must be there. हम लोग क्या सोचते हैं, हम जाके करेंगे क्या? Technical में मुझे क्या करना है? Friends, it is not our job to just do appraisals, recruit people. That is there. I'm not saying. I'll give you an example. In airport, we had some 25 to 30 expats. And we were recruiting these expats. We got a very different kind of experience on it. I have worked in my first 15 years of my career in trade union, IR, pure hardcore IR, right? Public sector and large organizations in Mumbai. When I was recruiting a airport manager who is an Irish guy from UK, he has said when we have selected everything, done all our rounds of interviews happened, MD has seen everything. Finally, he shook hand very well. Everything was done. When I asked him, okay, cleared, you can send me your expectations and your salary on, like how we do. I said, no, Mr. Manoj, my advocate, my attorney will speak to you. भाई मेरे को तो यूनियन लीडर ने भी ऐसा नहीं बोला कभी. But his attorney is going to talk. He'll not talk. He will talk with overall whatever package is getting, what are the taxation applies, what are the things he gets as an entitlement, like they have a garden leave, and they have when you are within 6 months if you are terminating the services, what will the compensation, and so on and so forth. And literally tell you, this guy didn't talk. Whom I was considering as one of good friend now, we have come to that level. I got upset completely. I said, fellow is not talking here. Generally, हम लोग क्या सोचते हैं जब suppose if you have a compensation manager and if you are a CHRO and that guy is not able to accept the the offer, he said कि चलो ठीक है यार मेरे से बात करवा दो. We do that, na? And then we say, boss, this is the thing. We have future prospects here. We are working on that. थोड़ा सा हम लोग इधर उधर कर भी देते हैं. And we get the person and we feel like we got this person. Here the guy who had twice dinner with me is saying my attorney will talk to me. So my point is this, HR need to understand how these practices are happening across. And today in global environment, we need to understand this thing very clearly, the global practices in the organization. And when it comes, there is always a conversion. So when we finalize the compensation, we cannot say how many dollar we have to give. We have to also say what is the trend of the dollar in last so many months. How this dollar is going to, what is the depreciation level which is going, what is our cost of number of rupees per dollar, what is the trend for so many things, how this salary is going to go in next 3 years time. We have to see all that. Now this is not a typical simple compensation boss. उठाया मेरे पास टैक्स पड़े निकाला मैंने ऑफर के लिए उसको बनाया ऑफर भेज दिया and then I called. Those are good if with that. But what is expecting? People are expecting much more than that. And many times we see that a guy with 9-10 years experience is asking a bomb. And you see 10 years experience, I have got 25 years experience. Guy is getting 40 lakhs and he's asking me 50 lakhs now. There are things which are happening. People are asking two times. And as I said, end of the day, what is important for business? If you get that person that, yes, my HR has got the talent boss, I'm working on that. Or whatever story you may say, sir, he is expecting too much, we cannot. Boss, okay, we have not got the person, no, we'll have to look for it. Okay, you look for things. That guy will in the mind, my HR is not effective as I wanted as a matter of my business partner. And that is where HR, we will have to make our own calculations, we'll have to make our own postulates, we'll have to make our own areas and decide how this is going to work. Right? I'll take some 5 minutes. I know I'm going little more.
It's okay.
And the last important point, so we have taken 4 points. We have talked about powering agenda, we have talked about culture shift, we have talked about talent pipeline, we have talked about operational efficiency. The last and most important, changing environment. When it comes to environment, I'm not only saying that environment in terms of water, air, and this and that, and COD and BOD kind of thing. Environment is something means whatever is going in-house, inside, and more about outside, around your business. You know? So when initial part of our career, when we used to see, we knew one thing very important. When you talk of doing environment with outsider, you have to deal with union. You have to deal with the union's confederation president or secretary who is some MLA or MP of some political party. We have to deal with. And we used to go and deal and do kind of matter. And we used to, while signing the settlement, we will have some understanding with this guy. And we have always become very happy and victorious that we have signed the agreement. We have got this much of productivity and yes, about it. Today, that is one thing that's very small. Because most of the organizations, how many organizations are employing permanent employees? Very few. Or even if you are, recruiting permanent employees, the proportion of permanent to contract labor is very high everywhere. And we need not have to be little cozy about it because government is also doing that. Government is the largest employer of contract labor. Please understand. So today, what is happening? Law is in its place. Law has got still the same sections. What we used to have when I was 5 years experienced person. But today the situation has changed. Courts have taken different views. The pronouncements of judgments are different. And we all are in. So contract labor, there is so permanent employees numbers are very low. There are places where contract laborers are also having unions and the same kind of problems which are happening. Because in case of contract labor, we all in most of the cases we are name lender. Do you agree with me? What is name lender? वही कॉन्ट्रैक्टर वही आदमी कॉन्ट्रैक्टर का नाम चेंज करेंगे और वही लोग चलते रहेंगे 10 साल 12 साल 15 साल you know so this is what is happening and this is not with any company, it's with everyone. So the point is environment is union is one factor which is not so much prominent today. There are so many other factors. Managing local sentiments, something very important. Managing local sentiments, ensuring that your organization's name is not getting unnecessarily misused by the people with some wrong information. Right? Suppose if your treated effluent is going out, and if it is as per your consent of pollution control board, and still somebody say कि वो उधर के तालाब में मछलियां मर गई क्योंकि वो कंपनी का पानी उधर आते हैं उसके लिए. And then the whole big lot will come and start creating all kinds of agitation. And it will immediately come in local newspaper. ये कंपनी का पानी की वजह से वहां की मछलियां मर गई. Now you keep correcting your image by convincing and giving a lot of clarification saying that is not because of that, we have consent, we have everything, this, that, all. But the image of the organization is lost. You will have a lot of inquiries from if you are multinational organization from your APAC headquarter, from your central headquarter and they start purchasing. Because they will ask all kinds of translation. Now they don't believe how media works, how local paper works, who validate the information which is going to print in the newspaper, but it is there. So HR's role come here is you have to be more proactive. More proactive, look at the things, understand what would be the implications if this doesn't address today. We have seen that government is failing. After having all kinds of things, the Diksha Bhumi was closed. Because the right way, the proactive approach need to be taken. We have to be all the way more cautious about it. Yeah. This is one important aspect. Second important aspect is today the employees, not only outsiders, are looking at organizations, how ethical is my organization? I mean, we are not touching that subject when we talk about retention strategy. These are the important aspects. How ethical is my organization? What are the cause for which my organization is striving today? What is my CSR activity? Which kind of projects we have undertaken? Is it really that my organization is? And then if I am very passionate about it, I would be championing, I would feel like, yes, this is the organization I should join. Now, many times today, people are looking at that, your image, your branding. Employer branding is the most important aspect today when it comes to environment. And we have to see that my branding remains intact. And for that, I need to work on these things. I will see that the image of the organization remains. If there are best of the social services, social things which are going on, I should see my organization should be part of that. And I should go and tell my management, ki boss, this is what has happened. There was some major, what you call, I mean, some issue in that particular villages. Something has gone wrong, and there is a lot of natural devastation. And I need to go and serve. The organization need to go and serve. We'll have a better name around. When people do that. So today, employer branding is the main important focal point of environment. When you are managing environment, managing local people, managing union, managing all these kind of things, and creating, establishing the image of the organization in that area, and propagating that message across that how ethical as we as an organization. If those things are well not taken care of, then there will be problem. So HR is looking for this employer branding. It is not only putting the leaflets and putting the stickers and doing all kinds of this. That is one part, definitely that through that it is exhibited. But in the core of it, what is more important is we need to look at these aspects very important, and we need to ask questions. If we are not going to support this cause, a lot of other people are doing it, we are not doing. Somebody is going to ask. And that is where is the role of HR comes in place, to see that how these things are taken care, to see that my organization is very much agile in terms of social awareness instead of social connect. No. So to end this, I would like to, and CSR is definitely going to do all this kind of thing, but many times organization doesn't understand, or if you ask me where your CSR 2% money is allocated, many of the people, the top executives will not be able to, because this remains with CSR department. CSR department is someone who is monitoring this, but organization as a whole need to know and need to propagate among the employees that these are the cause for which our organization is completely geared up for. Yeah. So, guys, HR need to look at these aspects, very, very important. The HR heads need to gear up their own knowledge, their own competence. They should be ready to come up to the expectations of the organization in terms of your competence, in terms of your knowledge, in terms of your approach, in terms of your understanding. Then implementing that and working with that, and how much organization is supporting, that's a second aspect. But many times people say that my CHRO is not capable to do that. And that's why I don't feel like I need to give so much of time. Lot of HR initiatives I'm doing myself. I said, look, there are people in the organization. So this is not, the HR need to be very, very clear. Still, you see, for last 2 decades, finance has got a number 1 place after CE in any organization. Why can't HR? It is a big question. I leave it for all of you. Thank you so much for your time. And if there are any questions, you can discuss it out. Any questions? Please give time to people if they.
Floor is open for question and answer. So if you have any queries, please feel free to ask.
सर मेरा एक क्वेश्चन था
Please.
अभी जो कारपोरेट कंपनीज है मैन्युफैक्चरिंग की, वहां पे अभी ITI ना लेते हुए 10वीं के भी लड़के लगे हैं। तो शॉप फ्लोर पे प्रॉब्लम ये आ रही है कि उनको टेक्निकल नॉन टेक्निकल होने की वजह से वो HR को बोल रहे कि ये लड़के हमारे काम के नहीं है। तो ये HR के लिए बहुत ज्यादा चैलेंज है, तो इसको कैसा फेस करेंगे?
इससे दो चीज है कि क्यों 10वीं वाले ले रहे हैं, क्योंकि ITI लोग मिलते नहीं।
हाँ।
बराबर है, सभी को पता है। अभी सवाल ये है कि जब 10वीं वाले लोग लेते हैं तो आप मैनेजमेंट को बोलो कि आई नीड एटलीस्ट 5 days टू ट्रेन देम, सम काइंड ऑफ ट्रेनिंग वी कैन गिव, और वो बहुत जरूरी है फ्रॉम सेफ्टी पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, यू नो, कि भाई अगर आप 10वीं पास बंदा लोगे तो उसको आप सीधा तो ऑपरेटर नहीं बनाओगे, he will be helper or he'll be drill boy or he will be doing some kind of level 2 work ना। तो उसके लिए जो बेसिक ट्रेनिंग उस बंदे को देना चाहिए, मोस्ट ऑफ द यू विल हैव, अभी मैं जो आपको सजेशन दे रहा हूँ इसमें भी आपको प्रॉब्लम आने वाली है, ऑर्गेनाइजेशन will not agree for that, but you have to insist ऑर्गेनाइजेशन कि बॉस ये बहुत जरूरी है, थोड़ा समय लोगों को आप ट्रेनिंग देना चाहिए, क्योंकि 5 मैंडेज का आपको प्रोडक्टिविटी नहीं मिलने वाला। तो मेनी टाइम्स वी आर वेरी शॉर्ट साइटेड, यू नो, इन आवर अप्रोच, बट यू टेल, थोड़ा आपको बताना पड़ेगा कि बॉस कभी किसी का हाथ नहीं चला गया, मशीन में कुछ हो गया, कोई एक्सीडेंट हो गया, इसकी इंक्वायरी हुई तो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के ऊपर में बड़ा वो आ सकता है, एंड द होल ओनर्स फॉल्स ऑन टू द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, इसकी जिम्मेदारी सारी कंपनी की तरफ आएगी। तो इसके लिए 5 दिन का कम से कम आप ट्रेनिंग दीजिए हम लोगों को, और उसको आपको मॉनिटर करना है HR को कि प्रॉपर ट्रेनिंग होना चाहिए। ये नहीं कि उसको उठा दिया ट्रेनिंग के लिए, बैठा आधा घंटा, बोला उसको चाय लेके आ रहे मेरा, वहां पे कैंटीन वाला उसको बोल मेरा नाम हो गया, दिस व्हाट हैपेंस, you must restrict this is very important, yeah,
Thank you,
I hope
thank you.
anyone please feel free to ask questions, there is no, I mean कोई भी क्वेश्चन आप पूछ सकते हो, बात कर सकते
HR side, when CHRO, so many things are expected. What is, as you have mentioned, what is the support that he is getting? That person is getting. What is the level which is available now, and what is the expected support?
see, the first thing is the moment somebody puts an expectation onto you, Mr. So and so, I need these things, I need the absenteeism goes down to 5%, or my attrition should come down to 10%. मेरा आज 30% attrition है, I want to bring it down to 10%, tell me what to do, ना तो बोलेगा ना सामने वाला आपको। Now you say, sir, thank you so much, I think I need some time, I will come back to you, मैं कल आपको मिलूं, कितने बजे मिलूं, you take time, and you need to do your study very clearly कि मेरा attrition कैसे चल रहा है, trend क्या है, where attrition is going high, where attrition is going low, what is the trend, एक साल के अंदर कितने लोग छोड़ के जाते हैं, 3 साल के बाद कितने लोग छोड़ के जाते हैं, HOD लेवल के कितने लोग छोड़ जाते हैं। I mean, what I'm trying to say, you have your own study completely. The moment you do study, you will get to know कि ये करना चाहिए, इन लोगों के ऊपर में थोड़ा इम्प्रूवमेंट करना चाहिए, इनको हम लोग ने जो एनुअल इंक्रीमेंट्स दिए हुए वो कम है, या इसके ऊपर में हम लोग RNR रिवॉर्ड्स एंड रिकॉग्निशन के लिए कुछ काम नहीं कर रहे हैं, तो यहाँ पे हमने करना चाहिए। You can start 5, 6, 7 activities you will write and you will go with paper, 5 स्लाइड का प्रेजेंटेशन लेके जाके बोलो, sir, this is what you asked, this is what is the trend, this is what needs to be done, these are the areas which work. I hopefully with this we will bring down, may not be 10%, but we can definitely bring it down to 20% in the first phase of first year or first 6 months. The moment you put this, then you will always have a very clear कि जब भी evaluation होगा आपके performance का, because I told you to bring it down 10%, कुछ हुआ नहीं, actually sir I also asked for 10 things to do, उसमें से मुझे एक भी चीज बराबर नहीं मिली, आपने बोला लेकिन वो सैंक्शन आए नहीं, आई एम नॉट एबल टू डू। आपको सपोज आपके पास 4 प्लांट है एंड यू हैव टू डू क्वार्टरली टाउन हॉल मीटिंग इन ईच प्लांट, एंड यू से कि टाउन हॉल मीटिंग के बाद में हम लोग मीटिंग करेंगे, लोगों को रिफ्रेशमेंट देंगे, बात करेंगे, बाकी सब, और उसके लिए किसी ने आपको क्लैरिटी दी ही नहीं, व्हाट यू विल डू? देयर हैज टू बी इंटरेक्शन, देयर हैज टू बी डिस्कशन, देयर हैज टू, सपोज मोटिवेशनल एक्टिविटीज यू वांट टू स्टार्ट अलोंग विद दैट, if it is not done then you are also very clear, but point क्या होता है कि हाँ सर मैं करता हूँ, you should stop this, हाँ सर मैं कर लूंगा, you shouldn't do this, you say sir I understand what is, I need time, अरे अभी बताओ यार क्या करना है, सर मैं बताता हूँ, मेरे को थोड़ा टाइम दो, let me come back, do your study, because the moment you do study that people will also get an impact, अरे यार ये सब बात कर रहे हैं, इसको तो सब डेट पता है पूरा. Then he will then when you ask for thing and you say ये देखो सर यहाँ पर ना इनका सबसे ज्यादा attrition है, मैं इनके लिए एक R&R स्पेशली ये करना चाहता हूँ. यहाँ पर है ना ये जो बच्चे आते हैं ना पहले साल में 1 साल के अंदर चले जाते हैं, इनका प्रॉब्लम क्या है, यहाँ पर एकोमोडेशन पास में कुछ भी नहीं है, they have to travel so long. We have only transport up to 20 kilometers from there, but इनको 40 किलोमीटर जाना है. So we have to make some chabri accommodation kind of thing for this. We will take a subsidized rate of deduction from them, but we will provide that will improve. अब वो दे तो काम हो, ना दे तो नहीं हो. But we should be very clear in our approach. We shouldn't say कि हाँ सर करता हूँ उसके बोल दिया, then he will take your neck on his side. वो नहीं हो सकता.
Thank you, sir, for this wonderful session. And now I invite Suresh Khandelwalji, co-chairman, HRD Forum, to please sum up the session and present vote of thanks.
Thank you. Before that, we will have to announce the lucky signature award.
Please take out one check.
Go. Okay.
Okay. Yes, she is Nagar. Yeah, please come. He is getting her MBA from NADP and she is from Andaman and Nicobar also.
Oh,
So she is a lucky winner of today's seminar. Thank you. Dear friends, we have so many friends HR attending today. I must thank you very much on behalf of NIPM and VIA for gathering. Mr. Manoj has already covered so many aspects, so many things. Basically, he is a IR guy. That's why he's very successful. I've written an article in our VIA magazine. Today's new generation is not opting to go for a IR skill. Really, in our Mahindra and Mahindra also when I was working, and Mr. Agustin is there, he's basically HR guy, IR guy. And he became a very successful HR guy because he has worked almost 15 years like you in IR. So if you want to have a very good future in HR, I request you all youngsters, you really opt for IR for some time. And this will give you all, Shri, many people are there, they will also tell you the same thing. This will give you very good, enhancing your own memory, how to deal with the workers, unions, and HR, how to present your all those things. This will definitely help you. Mr. Manoj, you talked about so many things. There is none of the things you left for me to discuss. But when you talk about envisaging HR in competitive business world, what is competitive business world is in front of you today? That is new labor codes. Recently, the government of India has passed, after merging these 29 labor codes in 4 codes, that is code on wages, code on legislation, code on social security, and code on occupational health and safety. Basically, you will have to face a lot of challenges here. Here, the real business competitive will start after, I think within 90 days, they are going to ask all the, all the state governments to implement this. All state governments already made the rules, but they have not implemented it. But this is going to happen within 90 or 100 days, as far as my knowledge. In fact, recently EI also they also published this. This government is going to implement these laws. Here also, the competitive business world starts for you because they are talking so many new things. You need to, if somebody is leaving your job, you need to clear his full and final settlement in a couple of days, right? They are allowed to go for a engagement of fixed number of employees, gig workers. Then the employees who has, after financial year over, he will ask for leave encashment immediately. These provisions are not, there were not such provisions. Now these all provisions are coming out. So real business competition for all the people will start. So how many people are ready to face this? As a corporate, I'm from Indorama, so we are doing some exercise. How to face this? Suddenly they will say, इसमें 50% जो wage definition है, उसमें your allowances should not be more than 50%. Your basic should be 50%. Your 51% should be there. How you will align this? This is going to be a very business competitive world. आपके सामने आएगा the moment they will implement it. Friends, if you permit me, we, NIPN and BIA HRD Forum is very much ready to take one full day session here itself to understand where you are standing today, how you will face if government of Maharashtra will implement under Maharashtra.
Particularly on labor wage code and IRB,
Yes,
industrial relations.
we'll cover all four codes. Somebody, experts like you, they can cover this kind of codes also. So this is very much needed. So if we will circulate our agenda with you, this is very much needed as far as my knowledge is concerned. If people are ready, then we can organize these kind of sessions, one full day session for all the HR fraternity of Vidarbha, right? So with this, I would like to again thank you very much for your wonderful, sharing ideas, and experience, everything. And this is all from our side. Good night. Let's have a cup of tea. And before that, please gather for a group photographs. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you so much. कुछ लोग आगे पीछे खड़े हैं. Yeah, sorry.
National anthem first, and then we'll go for.
We'll have a national anthem. Everybody, I request everyone to please stand up for national anthem. सबसे निवेदन है कि नेशनल एंथम शुरू करें. जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाये तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय भारत माता की जय. Yeah, please. तो बन जाते कुछ लोग नीचे खड़े जाएंगे. Look, I don't the सामने राजेश बुलाओ. इधर खड़े ना निकाल रहे सर आ रहे क्या सर आ रहे हैं सर प्लीज वो पीछे चल जाओ बीच में से मैडम आइए ना आप भी आइए. Thank you. Sir. People are here. I love it.
Madam,